for Friday. However, I finished it over the weekend, so it wasn't quite done with all the figures and things. As we go through it, or I don't know if you want me to go into detail, but the document in front of us is very fluid and very changeable and working, so it continuously changes with revenue changes, expenditure changes. What we submit to the state and what we prove today can be changed 2 weeks from now, 6 months from now at any given time. So it's not something that we have to abide by in stone once it's approved. However, it's a working document, it's a starting point. It will take 5 years to get out of the deficit with the projections of student loss and revenue that we are going to lose. There are significant changes in the structures of the buildings with collapsing down to one high school. Does that mean that I want you to vote on collapsing high school tonight? No, definitely not. But that is something that's in the DEP plan for future if for some reason we cannot adjust what we have now or we don't get additional revenue. I'm not sure if you have questions.
Actually, I have one that we didn't cover in finance.
Of course.
I frankly didn't get a chance to ask between that and this meeting. The actual format of the resolution, so we've seen the spreadsheets and the tables, but is there a specific verbiage?
No, there's not a specific verbiage that the state sent. They did not send a specific. They would, obviously we'll have to take a roll call, but then we would do the deficit elimination plan, just to adopt the plan submitted, and then we would send that to the state.
So the resolution is basically just in numbers?
Correct, yes. It's just the adopting the document, because everything that I've given you, from the cover page all the way to the last page of the narrative section, is all designed by the state, and it's all in an Excel format that the state provides, and we just fill in the blanks. So it's not anything that I created, it's more of a fill in the numbers here with the projections of student loss or student increase. In our case, it's projection of student loss at this time, as well as projection of decrease in different revenues in different areas, such as our local revenue that I explained during the finance of some of our lease agreements are up and some of our Act 18 money was a one-time only amount. So our starting point was the 15-16 actual budget or actual expenditures, then projecting out to 2021.
And could you just, maybe for those who aren't as familiar with finance, go over the timing requirements, why we're doing this now?
Well, typically we have to do a DEP within 30 days of adopting a deficit budget. However, because we were going through the administrative review, we did ask for extension, and we did get the extension. Unfortunately, a lot of the things with the administrative review hasn't come back yet. So we had to push through with the DEP and projections to get to the September 30th deadline. So that's why we have to do it now. Obviously, with the upcoming millage and elections for the bond, these numbers can change. If that bond, if the millage passes and the district does receive the 2.6 million, then the DEP becomes kind of null and void, because that 2.6 million would offset the 2.1 million deficit, which is in the budget that I'm asking to adopt as well, budget amendment. So that would offset that. So then, therefore, as soon as the bond passes, I would then amend the budget again in November or shortly after, so that we could take it and go out of the DEP and then just be back to the administrative early warning.
I also did ask a question
Of course.
At the finance committee meeting, but and I don't know how to delicately say this, so I'm just going to say it. We paid Risa to do an administrative review.
Yes. Well, we haven't paid them yet, but yes.
Well, we entered into a contract with them. Steve Ezekian stood right up there and said they would help us so that they could present the board with a report to help us make better decisions on the DEP plan before it was due.
Correct.
That was not done. We do not have a report from them. So are we still obligated to pay them?
I'm sorry?
Water product decide that, I don't know if you could decide that.
Well, here's the problem. So, regardless regardless of whether or not they gave us the information, they did tell us it was going to take approximately 45 days to get all that information back to us to review. It took about a week and a half to 2 weeks to get them all the information that they needed. So he was here at the end of August, and I'm not trying to defend, so please, I know that it's a 45-day and it's a time crunch. So it took about 2 weeks to send the 28 things or 35 things, and I think I did forward you the list in the Friday update at one point of all of those information that he needed. So then once they've gotten that, then they have to have time to process it well. With that being said, regardless of whether we had it for the DEP, if we are out of the DEP and we do a balanced budget on November 10th, we're still going to need that for administrative review. So once we balance the budget, we're still going to need it. That's early warning legislation and law. So my quick answer, or long drawn out answer, yes, we'll still have to pay them because we're going to need that review once you get into early warning. And it will just be one step closer to being done sooner than waiting 45 days after the November 8th election.
And as you described, the budget is fluid process.
Correct.
So it could change tomorrow.
Correct.
It changes every day.
And the DEP can change tomorrow. If we get that administrative review at the end of the week, and we've submitted this, and they come back and they've approved it, but then something in the administrative review that we said, oh, we really didn't see this, we didn't look at this, and yeah, this is something we can do, and it won't be impactful for students, then we can amend our DEP at that time as well. So,
You said something earlier, I think, in answer to Mr. Zorn's question. You said that this DEP resolution is just going to be numbers,
everything that they have right here,
so we're not
they'll get all
sending-
that, they'll get all of this whole packet they get.
I got that, but this narrative page that we looked at, or narrative section,
Yep, that's part of their packet,
it's going to go out just the way it looks.
yes. But it can all be amended at any given point. So within 30 days, or if we decide in 6 weeks that this isn't the plan that we want, I can amend it. If we decide that our pupil count is different or something has happened, I can amend it. It's not a set in stone, but it's a starting place.
No, I understand that.
Yes, so everything in this packet, from the top